Hello, my name is Harold Winchester, historical professor at Harvard. Today, our topic will be the siege of the Bastille. Accompanying me is... oh, and here he comes now.
Hi, I'm Glenn Tennis, BA, here to talk to you about the storming of the Bastille. It happened in France once.
Before the siege of the Bastille can be explored, a firm understanding of the siege of France is required. In the recent years leading up to the actual siege itself, France had been experiencing great hardships both socially and economically.
The economic and social crisis, like lack of food, fueled a popular movement that exploded in the hearts and minds of the people of France. Ordinary people became more involved politically and demanded a role in improving their lives.
French, 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 French. Improving quality of life. French, 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 French. French for French, French, French. Revolution. French for French, French, French.
Ho ho for French,
French, French, French, French, French.
Mr. Tennis is very right. As the popular movement started to spread, riots took place and became increasingly more violent.
These riots took place in spring, killing more than 50 able-bodied people.
Due to the economic crisis, the French monarch, Louis XVI, put in place contrôleurs généraux, men who were in charge of managing the chaotic economy. However, this would prove to be far more difficult than it seemed at first.
France had gone through a series of contrôleurs généraux, but all had failed due to poor taxing methods and poor financial planning. Necker was the most popular of these contrôleurs généraux, but he was fired in 1789, which caused great civil unrest among the people of France.
Necker, leaving the scene in 1789, pushed Parisians even farther, until finally France was like a ticking bomb, ready to explode at any given moment. The Parisians began combating the royal troops. They set up barricades, fearing that the government would try to restore order by force.
The Parisians fought the royal troops with such force that the Garde Française had to withdraw from Paris. The Parisians destroyed 40 out of 54 of their custom posts.
The Garde Française tried their very best to control the crowds. However, many were ordered to withdraw from Paris. Those who did not withdraw joined and fought on the side of the Parisian revolutionaries. In order to arm themselves, Parisians stormed many old retirement homes for soldiers. However, even this was not enough. They quickly began to run short on gunpowder, forcing them to attack the Bastille. But with so few provisions, the attack would be more desperate than they had ever imagined before.
The storming of the Bastille occurred on the 14th of July, 1789, when 28,000 muskets were stolen from old soldiers' homes.
Due to desertions from the Royal Infantry unit, the Garde Française, military commanders advised the king that the troops could not be relied on to suppress the uprising. There were approximately 5,000 troops stationed near the Bastille, but the officers could not rely on these men. By the 14th of July 1789, 5 out of 6 battalions of the Garde Française had deserted the French military, and some joined the Parisians in the epic storming of the Bastille.
Due to desertions from the Garde Française, army commanders advised the king that the revolution could not be squashed that day. By the storming of the Bastille, 83.333333333333333% of the Garde Française had deserted their cause. Some had even joined the Parisians.
When the riots first arrived at the Bastille looking for gunpowder, they were refused entry by the governor, Delaunay. However, a group of demonstrators managed to breach the inner courtyard, and from there they fought their way further into the fortress. Delaunay ordered his troops to fire on them. As a result, 98 people were killed. With aid of the Garde Française and the utilisation of the weapons they had previously procured from Les Invalides, the demonstrators triumphed over the defending body of the Foundation. Or in other words,
The Parisians, with the help of the Garde Française, used the guns to shoot the defenders with their guns. Storming of the Bastille was significant because he shoots, he scores! Because it was the first act of armed terrorism against France, and the first of the journeys that proved to be very vital in the shaping of the French Revolution. The king lost control of Gay Paris. The National Constituent Assembly drew up a constitution now that they weren't dissolved by the king anymore. Delaunay was decapitated in the head. Louis now had to share his power with the National Assembly. Louis could not rely on the army. He had to dictate orders straight to the National Assembly. On the 10th of July, the citizens' militia was established. 5 days later, a commune was set up to govern the city by the Paris electors. Tonight. Oh hey, I didn't see you there. As the fall of the Bastille became fact in the history books, the Parisians wanted their own slice of the revolution soup.
The storming of the Bastille is a significant event to investigate when studying the French Revolution, as it was the first of the revolutionary journeys. It was the first case of mass armed resistance against the Ancien Regime, and it marked the beginning of the end of the old order. Thank you for joining Mr. Glenn Tennis and myself on today's program. Please join us again next week when we will cover how the extinction of the dinosaurs was a conspiracy conducted by Nazi Germany to conquer South America, also known as the Lost City of Atlantis. I am Harold Winchester. Thank you and good day.
Hey, I'm Glenn Tennis, BA, here to talk to you about the storming of the Bastille.